Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are unpacking something literally mind-bending, the exact point where human communication crashes into artificial intelligence. We're pulling all our insights today straight from the Phonetics 2026 Hong Kong Conference, officially known as the International Conference on Phonetics and AI in Language Education. So if you've ever wondered how the subtle, everyday melodies of the human voice are colliding with cutting-edge machine learning, you are in exactly the right place.
Here's our roadmap for today. First, a quick welcome to Phonetics 2026. Then we'll hit the keynotes on global speech, dive into the AI revolution, explore accents and intonation, and finally wrap things up with the future of phonetics.
All right, part one. Welcome to Phonetics 2026.
So, who actually put this whole shebang together? It wasn't just some tiny departmental meetup, right? This was a massive, cross-institutional, collaborative effort. We're talking a joint initiative between the International Linguistic Society and the Hong Kong Polytechnic University's College of Professional and Continuing Education. They brought together leading scholars, veteran researchers, and fresh, early career academics to share their absolute best work on speech, sound systems, and phonetic theory.
And the way they structured it was honestly pretty brilliant for global access. Wednesday, June 3rd was hybrid, meaning you had in-person sessions at the Hong Kong venue seamlessly mixed with virtual connections. Then for Thursday, June 4th, the whole thing went strictly online, so researchers from literally anywhere in the world could jump in and share their findings without dealing with international flights and jet lag.
Moving on to part two, keynotes on global speech.
Okay, before we get to the actual speakers, we absolutely have to talk about a concept called prosody. If you've never heard the term, it's basically the rhythm, the stress, the absolute melody of how we speak. It's not the words coming out of your mouth, it's how you say them. It's the musicality that tells you if someone is asking a question, making a statement, or, just being totally sarcastic.
And you see this prosody concept front and center right out of the gate. Carlos Gussenhoven's foundational keynote was literally called Dissecting Language Prosody. Then you had Jet Hansen Edwards tackling speech intelligibility in a multilingual world, which, let's face it, is absolutely crucial as our world gets more connected. Rounding it out, Patrick C.M. Wong looked ahead with forecasting spoken language development. These three talks really set the human baseline for everything else.
But here's where things get wild. It's one thing for us humans to study how we naturally learn rhythm in speech. But the giant looming question of this whole conference was, what happens when we take all those human quirks, our stresses, our weird little intonations, our accents, and just feed them straight into artificial intelligence?
Which brings us to section 3, the AI revolution.
This is where the research gets straight up futuristic. Yahya Aldomi presented a study that literally pitted humans against machines. No joke. They wanted to see who was better at identifying the native language background, the L1, of Arabic learners. Think about that for a second. They are testing whether a trained human ear, or a machine learning algorithm, is better at pinpointing exactly where someone grew up based on nothing but their phonetic footprint.
And building on that tech integration, Wang Chunfan showcased AI-powered native language assessment. This is a real game changer because it proves why AI is becoming the ultimate tool for personalized language training. By analyzing your native phonetic habits, your L1 phonetic transfer, AI systems can literally custom tailor your pronunciation training for a new language. It zeroes in on the specific acoustic hurdles that you specifically are going to face.
And the AI applications just kept coming. Researchers are actively training these models on incredibly nuanced audio. Leonidas Silva Jr. talked about automatic accent classification using second language prosodic features. Meanwhile, Kumudre Guntilake is using machine learning to analyze Sinhala vowel length perception. We're talking about training AI to hear micro-level distinctions, like the exact fraction of a second a vowel sound lasts in Sinhala. It's just incredible.
Okay, section 4, exploring accents and intonation.
Now, AI is powerful, sure, but a massive takeaway here was that this tech is basically useless without a deep foundational understanding of human cultural dialects. So researchers brought these incredibly diverse global case studies to the table. Meek-Swan Lee looked at Cantonese speech act intentions. Jan Lawrence dug into the unique struggles Czech learners have with Mandarin intonation in atonal syllables. We also had Milena Milanova analyzing Bulgarian learners of modern Greek, and Aswathi P.A. mapping out intonational variation as a dialect marker in Malayalam. It just goes to show how vast and hyper-specific this research really has to be.
They even drilled down into the microculture of the classroom itself. Veronika Karavaeva and Tatiana Tolmacheva did this fascinating analysis on the differing prosodic patterns between male and female teachers. They mapped out the actual rhythm of live classroom interactions. Turns out, how a teacher speaks can actually be just as structurally important as what they're teaching.
Which leads us to our final part, Section 5, the future of phonetics.
So what does this all mean? The big takeaway from Phonetics 2026 is that the future of speech isn't some sci-fi battle of human versus machine. It's a synthesis. We're bridging human nuance with machine learning. AI isn't here to replace human teachers. It's emerging as this highly specialized, tirelessly listening tool designed to deeply understand and completely revolutionize how we learn language.
Which leaves us with a pretty profound question to chew on. As these AI models perfectly map out our regional accents, our subtle intonations, and our native quirks, how is this going to fundamentally change the way you learn your next language? I mean, is your next language tutor going to be an algorithm that literally knows your voice better than you do? Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep exploring the incredible world of sound.